and welcome back to another video. Today I have my friend Madeline, and we are going to be doing a part 2 of my disability history video. I will put either here or here, never know where you to put it. And we are going to be talking about the importance of accessible community to all people and how that relate to disability history. So welcome, Madeline. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Madeline Webster Perry, and Anna and I met doing self-advocacy work in a previous job of mine. I still work in disability. I still do stuff in advocacy, and I also am a swing dancer on the side. It's something I love to do, and I've found a lot of fun and passion lately in trying to make swing dance communities more accessible too.
Yeah, and one of the main reasons I brought Madeline on because I hear about him the time like it's really hard to find the support professional or people in general that can help you. And I was like, well, that's because we don't have enough community that are non-disability centered to begin with. So we have them, but they're not accessible, or people don't know how to make them accessible. And I have a strong belief that if you spend too much time in a disability community, it can kind of mess with your brain a little bit and mess with your belief, and in turn maybe mess with the services that you already work so hard to get, and you have to then appeal them, and that's not fun for anyone. So I wanted to talk about like how and why we want the community to be accessible, and then like if you're a disabled person, like how do you find the community and make sure they are reliable and safe for you to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So I guess the first question is like, what kind of community are there for people to get involved in? And then what is the safest way for people to get involved in? And why would you maybe want to do that?
Yeah, so there's lots of communities to be a part of, and I think that the first step is to decide what you like. And if you love dancing and you love music, then maybe swing dancing is for you. But if that's not your thing, and maybe you love nature, and so finding a way to be outside in nature is important to you, or you love photography, you can find a community around almost any interest or hobby or passion. And finding that community can be challenging sometimes, and then sometimes you found it and you might be excited about it, but it's not accessible yet. And maybe they haven't thought about how to include somebody with a disability yet. Maybe you are a wheelchair user and you're really into nature, and so you want to find a hiking group, and that would be cool. But maybe they haven't thought about how to include somebody who would be a wheelchair user, and so it might require a little bit of advocacy. But something that's really important to me is helping these hobby communities or these spaces that are doing really great work about bringing lots of kinds of people together, to help them start to think a little more proactively about how to include people with disabilities, so it's not all on the person with a disability who has to figure out how to advocate for themselves.
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of the time I hear people, they're like afraid to go on the internet, when they're taught that the internet is bad and like dangerous. Which I talked about in a previous video. It is dangerous if you don't know how to use it, but also the community that we are a part of are so disability centered that you are not going to find the support that you need or the people that you need necessarily inaccessible online. Like, I'm a big advocate when I'm hiring people. I will post the know for help what to do in my community, and like I will look in the Mary University or any university I can find. So like, how would you find the milk academy for parents who are worried about their child or even adult? Like, I'm talking like 20, 30. I hear it all the time. Like, my parents don't want me to be involved because X, Y, and Z. You know?
Yeah. And I think that certainly the internet can be scary, but life is scary. Life
Right.
comes with risks, and something that people in disability justice spaces will talk about a lot is this idea of dignity at risk.
Mm-hmm.
That we all
I
have the
talk
right
about
to
it all the time.
Yeah, we have the right to make mistakes, and we have the right to try something that might have a bad outcome and learn from it. And maybe you try something that seems scary and then it actually turns out okay. And not everything is going to be a mistake. And so I think sometimes parents get really trapped in this idea of protection, and they forget that people are people and they're gonna do things that have a level of risk, but that's part of being human. And people with disabilities are humans too, so they need to be able to have the option to try things and learn and fail and succeed just like everybody else. And so the internet is one place, right? But you can also talk about how to make something safer. You can get ahead of the problem. Like you can set up some conversations that say, so if you get a DM from someone you don't know, how would you handle that, and have that kind of
Right.
conversation? Or, for example, if you go to a swing dance social and someone asks you to dance and they make you a little uncomfortable, we have ways that we address that too. And I think that it's important that people with disabilities know that they're allowed to go out into the world, they're allowed to be part of the world, even if there's a level of risk in that, even if they might get hurt, right?
Right.
Certainly all of us have been hurt by the world before, but we grow from it and it makes us better.
Yeah, and I definitely hear my parents on to watch this video and be like, oh, I want Hey Manimal supposed to help you. And they do, but I also have the belief that the Hey Manimal also try and put you into disability cases, which I spend on my Weibo and on my services for my 7 years now, 2020, and I have only been a component of, I'm not trying that, and that I feel like that will benefit me in a work relationship, but I will not let them put me into disability animated,
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, I think that that's a really common thing. And as someone who works in the field, I understand that gut reaction, right? Is we think, well, rather than trying to figure out how to make sure this community can include them and doing the hard work of advocacy to make sure that this person's needs will be met there and taking the risk knowing that they might even get hurt there. Let's pick the safe option of the segregated environment where there's staff there to protect them. And what we know is that people are actually not safer in segregated environments. They actually are at higher risk.
Right.
And so if people are going to be safe, then what that means is we teach them how to protect themselves.
Right.
Right? It's not that we need to put them in a bubble, right? And I think case managers are doing their best. They're doing what they understand, but the list of resources they've been given are typically segregated resources. They're not thinking outside of the box always in terms of
I can tell you they're not. Because
yeah.
because mine specifically is my only supply when, I'm sure you know, but my people who don't know, like, they have to come me where I'm not being abused every 3 months or whatever. And I have a new person with me, not new to me, but new to them every time you show up. And I'm like, why is this so brain wrecking for you? Yeah, new person, new life, because I spend so much time out in my community, and I'm one of those people who like their own IEP
Hmm.
for her health, and they're a thing I do out in the community, and that's mind blowing to them. With it's also something that bothers me because people who are not like me and don't have to drive spend a lot of time listening to their safe animals.
Yeah. And there are some people who don't have maybe the gumption that you have
Right.
or the supportive family that some people have. And so their worlds just get smaller and smaller. Their options are limited to what is funded, what is staffed, what is safe. And that can really shrink someone's whole world.
Yeah. Or even like if you're someone who is in a thinking world, you go into the disability height or height mode, which I talked about in the previous video, so don't want that. But like then you end up potentially bringing somebody else down with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the truth is the world is there,
Yeah.
and if we're there's room for everyone, right?
Yeah.
If we want the world to include people with disabilities, we have to encourage people with disabilities to be out in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like how now on to that, like how as a community leader or community organizer might you do that? How would you get the word out? Like, hey, we have this dance event and everyone welcome. That's an event for one community, but how might you get the word out to people like us or community like ours?
Yeah. Great question. So when I consult with dance organizers, one of the things that I say, like the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest thing that you can do is to put an accessibility statement on your website. Because then if someone's researching and using the internet to do it, then they know whether or not they might feel welcome. They can't, like, if the world is not an accessible place. And so if you are a person with a disability who's looking and you're like, maybe I want to try this, probably unless somebody says to you, hey, we want you here, you're welcome, you might not assume that. Another thing I really encourage folks to do is to hire people with disabilities.
Uh-huh.
So if you have a board that is helping organize your event, have somebody with a disability that is part of that team. If you're going to have somebody who's working the front desk and that's a way for them to get a free pass, let that be a person with a disability. Let them be visible, let them be part of the community, and pay them for the work that they bring to the
Mm-hmm.
table, because that also then tends to spread itself out, right? Like if I see that they're hiring somebody with a disability, I'm going to think, oh, they must take this a
Right.
little more seriously. So I might be more inclined to invite my friends with disabilities because I'm thinking this is a space that is going to care more.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, always offer, like, if you have some kind of registration, you should always ask what kinds of accessibility needs someone has or what kinds of accommodations someone might need. So that way, you as an organizer can hear that information. And even if you don't have a solution yet, you know what kinds of requests are coming through so you can start solving problems so that more people can be included.
Right. And like for me, like I look for places that will include me, or like for example, in my office that we are in today, like before becoming a member here, I told Amanda, who you might have seen in multiple videos, like, hey, I'm disabled, I need a caregiver, like they are kind of a package deal, and like I let them know like way before I became a member, and like when I had that email, they're like, "Oh, we can do a tour," and then a tour won't be necessary. I knew I was gonna be a member here on the first half that they let me in, and like their member in. That's a win-win,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And I think that, something that I say all the time is that including with people with disabilities isn't just for the person with a disability. It's for
right,
everybody else there who now gets to benefit from their sparkling personality,
yeah,
right? Or the different and unique perspectives they get to bring to
yeah,
that space and the feedback they can offer. And of course, oftentimes accessibility doesn't just help the person with a disability, like the curb cut effect, right?
right,
Like if
right,
curb cuts also help bike people on bicycles, it also
mm-hmm,
helps parents who are pushing strollers. It's something that when we start to facilitate accommodations for people with disabilities,
mm-hmm,
everyone often benefits.
right.
Yeah.
And they, on that topic, really why I wanted the video is like everyone better, and they, like we said earlier, like, hey, minimum, when you're looking for support aid, for example, like, years ago, this is not a now problem, but years ago when I first started my label, we put in there the family is looking for more support aid, or the family would benefit from having more support aid. And that was very early on before I met the confidence to write my ad or do any of the things I do now. And mistake management, we apply to that one. Oh, here's a agency, you know, places that you can know and places that you can hire outcome. And I feel like having community, well, I'm a testament, like most of you, like probably like 10 people from your dance that will end up being my support aid, you know, because I don't attend any of your dances, you know, that's not really my thing, but the community I'm part of because Madeline brought me into it. So I feel like that's something we can talk about too, because people know from natural support to paid support, and then maybe we can talk about like wanting my mic for and how that, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good example.
hopefully that made sense to you.
Yeah, it did. That
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, if you start out by just building in some natural supports, then maybe you can also build relationships and that'll turn into like someone who could be a paid supporter. And I was talking, I gave a presentation at a dance event about this, and I used the Charting the Life course life domain vision tool.
Uh-huh.
And I asked the folks participating in the training to go through the life domain vision tool, which basically lists out different areas of your life:
Yeah.
daily life and employment, community living, social and spirituality, um, advocacy and engagement. I'm gonna there's I think six.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's two I can't
Yeah. And that.
bring to the top of my mind. But the idea being I have them go through this list of the life domains, and I asked them to fill out how dance has supported them in each of those domains. So for daily life and employment, there are people that literally got jobs because a dance friend referred them or told them about an opening, or they got hired to teach dance, right? So it was
Right.
extra income. We talk about community living. So many people live with their friends from dance, right?
Right.
When you have communities that are active and engaged in the way that this one is, these relationships are supportive. We're all
Right.
living in many ways interdependently. We rely on each other. And so and that was really what inspired me to get into this was I started looking around and I was like, wow, this is meeting so many of my needs. There's so many people I know with disabilities who would really benefit from these connections that I'm making and the ways that this has improved my
Mm-hmm.
life. And I just wanted to make sure that we weren't gatekeeping people
Right.
out of it. Yeah.
Right. And it's so funny. I feel like a lot of people I met from your community also work in the healthcare field in some capacity, which I think is really funny, you know, but
Yeah.
it's you know, and that's the people we need.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's funny, like it's such a and that's the thing about starting with a community around a hobby is that they tend to be diverse. Lots of kinds of people like swing dancing, people who have all kinds of jobs, people who have all kinds of backgrounds, people from different faith
Mhm.
traditions. It's men and women. It's a really diverse community in a lot of ways. And so, I mean, I've met people there that I would have never probably met in any
Right.
other context. And now they're some of my closest friends.
Yep. And they learn people with disability as we come in, we can teach them about the system, and you might become hanged, and then sometimes eventually paid support will take some of the burden off. How do I find someone? I don't want random people in my house. I don't want, I have to write an ad and, and also you learn about their community so you don't become totally reliant on the disability community, which can really be toxic because there's a lot of stuff in the disability community that is toxic.
Yeah, I mean, all communities have problems.
I know, but you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or it's really, especially now,
Yeah.
about it, you know,
Yeah. And I think it's important to remember that like all these communities are going to come with problems. The point though is that we get to pick the ones we want to be
right,
in. Yeah, and
right,
that if you want to be able to access the world, you should be able to, even if, and I'll tell you, dance communities have problems too, but that's part of being in community, and people with disabilities deserve to be a part of that.
yep. And I feel like even the multiple community multiple community have problems, or main one, meaning the disability community, main one is the direct support personal crisis, and that creates a lot of mental health issues for a lot of people, and if you don't keep your head above water with it, I see it drown people,
Hmm.
drown their employment, that drown their independent, drown their like reading them it up every day. And like if you decide, oh, I'm only gonna lean on my disability, my disabled hand, that's right. We all need hands who are like us. But if we lean on only the community, we're all gonna drown together. If you ever say the wrong thing or use your voice in the wrong way, you are jeopardizing your services that people want to pay away for.
Yeah. I think disability is also like one of those categories where there can be, I mean, I think any marginalized group, there's some value in spending time with people with the same
Mm-hmm.
experience. But I think that at the end of the day, if we're not careful, that can start to look like segregation. It
Yep.
can start to look like it can start to look like we're not working to make sure that spaces are accessible to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that means what I'm really not, because when I bring so many people and so many different communities, different employment types, different whatever, and they learn so much, from it. And I learn so much from them. Yeah, you're right about whatever it is, and it really helps me say, okay, I have enough people around me that when I want to make teeter on the hateration or try something new that doesn't really work out and ends up backfiring, I have people that will be like, oh, didn't you say this will happen or this here thing will happen? And I, as a disabled person, sometimes you're so desperate to make something work that you commit with the light at the end of the tunnel, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're not getting your needs met just on a daily basis, then it can
Right,
be hard to think about and plan for the future.
right. Yeah. So, yeah, we hope this video was helpful. If it was, make sure you like it. Make sure you comment down below any other topic or any other questions you have. We'll be happy to answer it down in the comments or in a video. If you're new here, subscribe. I really do my best to post twice a week or once a week. And I will see you in my next one. Bye bye. Bye.